Alright, welcome back to another GNL redive, where we're going to go through the content for the week with a fresh mind, 4 days of hindsight, and give our thoughts on it. I am joined with Melga, of course, again. And for this week, Damian Kawaguchi of the Damian Reviews. You've probably seen around Reddit, 4chan, Discord, everywhere that you want to find information on this game. I've been absolutely privileged to be working with him for over a year now to crank out that content.
Hi.
Yeah, that's him.
Welcome.
So weird week. We got some stuff we did not expect to see. Well, people probably expected it, but I didn't want it because I'm selfish and don't want the game to progress through power creep too fast. But I guess first off, how are you guys doing this week?
Fine, thank you. Almost got a... Oh, sorry, Damian. Jumped out. I was just going to say I'm very happy. This is a fun week arena-wise, and I'm almost certain I got a top 100. Yay!
That's great, man. I've just been coasting by with the armor thing. Not really prepared for the armor arena that much. It's not exactly a stat I've been focusing on since most of our gameplay is basically don't get hit.
That
Yeah.
is stat arenas. You have the stat or you don't.
Yeah, basically. But I have been thinking about that justice. It's like I haven't actually pulled a lot yet, and what my thinking is, should I get like all of justice just because of the altar thing?
Oh, we're going to get there.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Yeah, that's the thing.
4th, 5th on the agenda. Justice
We're going
is
to
weird.
get there. But yeah, justice was a scrambling of our meta.
I didn't want
Yeah,
1/100
basically.
Sokai to happen, but it was gonna happen. There's no way it wasn't gonna happen. It's unrealistic of me to think it won't. I just didn't want it.
Now we thought it was gonna be the full armor unicorn, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is kind of crappy because I did pull pretty heavy on that. As you can see by my pathetic HC count up here, I dipped a little bit into Justice, but free to play
Well,
slow rolls.
you still got at least the justice legs, so you're
Twice. Okay. So it's pretty damn
I ran
good.
away. I ran away from those.
I very knee-jerk, very grittedly just wanted that torso for testing, but didn't happen. So I guess a good place to start for everyone would probably be the thing I actually wanted to kind of touch on. This week's current events and the weird stuff it brings to the table. Hey, wait a minute.
Okay,
You're not Hazel Unit 2? Hold on. I guess I just wanted to see Loose again. I had this set up here.
Oh yeah, it's going away soon.
Yeah.
Loose and GP and G04 will go away in like 25.
Like they're not shining stars, but they're absolutely brilliant arena parts. They are so solid. I'm so impressed with them being higher end than some of the events we've been seeing lately. But the events,
yeah,
Hazel
definitely
as well,
not a bad set.
Hazel 2 test type, early type is just kind of nuts for a stat bed.
Yeah. For a welfare unit, it's a monster, and if you look at the tags, you can see that it's barely. It's like 1 or 2 tags away from triggering the second tag. So it's like the third tag, I mean. So you can do a triple tag without much effort. Like for example, if you use the other shield, or did I misremember?
No, that loads up the 4th
Okay, it's right. Yeah, but Gundam type is easy. You can get a pilot and you can replace one of the mid-range tags with Gundam type, and you're instantly on top of the tags. Like, well.
Oh, I didn't actually mark this shield, so the stats... Oh, here we go. I have 2 left over. And I'll just shove this in here just for the sake of getting a better representation of these stats. And looking at the parts page themselves, no one will ever know that's not triple gold. Haha. See, it's all gold, clearly. Yeah, right out of the box, just looking at these stats with no gear, no subs, no nothing, that's a fantastic start for anybody.
It is.
Yeah, and just take a look at the head there for shooters. Like,
Eh.
I'm looking at my V2 Gundam, right? That it's the one I have right now is unaltered, but remember when V2 was like a staple for shooters?
I mean,
Yeah.
for the trait more than anything. The stats never broke any kind of bounds, but the trait especially was what V2 was really for. And tags, of course.
But I don't know, like this kind of stat line for welfare is really breaching on like standard pull parts in my opinion.
Oh.
And I'm just thinking, I guess we're shifting the stat lines even further now, since
We are.
a lot of our limited banners are like really pushing the goalposts in terms of numbers.
Like,
So it kind of makes sense that our welfares would catch up.
MC, can you show the wing chest
Which
compared
wing
to
chest?
the first wing we
classic
got
wing?
in the
Yeah, I
game?
can do that. I just wanted
Classic
to check
wing
real quick
versus
what the distribution on
Hazel
V2 was.
2. Hazel
Yeah.
2.
As I unfortunately remembered, that's right, V2 wasn't actually a shot defense boat either. It was shot in melee defense for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So it's definitely fallen behind even more because it doesn't have that conversion that was added later. Not like this thing with what...
Yeah.
Goddamn, what is this thing? 3,300? That's better than some of our higher end permanent shot alters get to on a head. Like the raw isn't there, but the defense definitely is.
Let me just say that this head beats up Dynamis head.
No, it does not. Don't tell
hey,
tales.
MC loves Dynamis head.
Yeah.
So
the first Dynamis head is worse. But yeah, that's the comparison I want. The regular wing chest versus
this was always
TR1.
the gold standard of a good, solid, standard tier torso. It does everything well. It actually has aged really well with the advent of level 99 and red marks. Like, all that being virtually a 2K stat line, that's still great.
It is.
It's been copied a million times over. From stuff like, Moon and Tryon and a bunch of other stuff has that same thing. There's Wing +1 levels I like. Things like Age FX. That are just the same distribution, but better. Now, compared to our
stat line,
our event one, it falls short in a few places, but as far as min-maxing into a shooter state, look at that thing. Like, it still keeps that 2K shot while having an absurd amount of shot defense.
And almost the same amount of armor, so it's clearly meant to enable newer players to clear content without any issue.
Clarification and reiteration: stats are the least evergreen part of any part in this game, and they will not hold up with any amount of time. But for the time being, these are really nice.
Even the arms are pretty good in terms of shot stats. Like, I'm comparing it to like what you said, the wing stat line. Yeah, including the Tryon, the Moon Gundam, and all those in the same stat line.
It pushes you into shot very easily,
Yeah.
And these arms, the trait, it's like good stats, 2 shot tags, and the buff power trait. Like,
this is our first buff trait on the arms that isn't limited, right?
Well,
it's not. I think we had one in the BD 2 and 3, the Naoki series. We had
BD
Last
2.
Christmas, I think. Yeah.
BD
you had the Xeon requirement one.
BD 3 was time.
Yeah.
But this is just free on technique, and you don't
It's
have
way
to
more
own
usable
a
this time,
Jagged
yeah.
Archie.
Yeah, yeah. This one's way more usable
Yeah.
than, say, being forced to run a Xeon tag.
Exactly.
Shot attack and
Unless
shot
you're wreck,
defense
you're
combined
wreck.
beautifully.
Unless you're wreck, you can't.
Unless you have been
You-
cultivating Xeon specifically, but that is 2% of the
For
player
ages.
base.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the equivalent of a stat arena.
Yeah.
Like, you have the tag base or you don't. Actually, back to the
Exactly.
torso leads me into something interesting I wanted to touch on. These weirdos. We've been seeing a whole lot of new EXs come out week after week with different kind of mechanical buff effects that may or may not be terribly effective, but they're taking mechanics that are often neglected in the game and throwing them into an EX form. We'll talk about it when we get to it later, but stuff like X Divider Head being a cooldown trigger.
Yeah.
Oh no. Can we return to the head? I was hearing something that made me impressive. This cannot be true. What the hell? The Strike Freedom head
Has no armor.
the
correct?
base one. How much shot attack does it have?
Let me
Base
tell you.
Strike Freedom?
Yeah, base non-altered Strike Freedom head. One of our
Because this
viewers was
calculator
commenting that,
is
and
amazing
it's
for that.
impressive. Like
Check.
just
It's
I
got
think I have
9k
one.
unaltered. It's always been like a raw beast.
no, but base Strike Freedom.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now in the
Is
calculator
what?
here on screen.
It's a monster, but look at the red. Show us the red marked Hazel too.
Boop.
Just to compare.
It's favorable. Yeah. It's not quite there, but it's super favorable as far as conversion goes. Let's be nice and say
very,
30%
very,
on both.
very close.
Let's say 30% on both, so you're
Well,
popping into
that's
what,
impressive.
1200 into Hazel? And you're popping into friggin', I don't know, like 300 or 400 onto
With current conversion
500?
values, yeah, it's almost 1.2. So it would be 8.5 shot attack. So it's like 400 under Strike Freedom.
Yeah, and then
So
Hazel's
the
getting
last
a cool 1200,
Sokai
1300.
before altar. Yeah, the last Sokai before altars is now getting chased down by welfare. It's impressive. It's definitely impressive.
Hey, look, it technically has a less restrictive trait. I will never stop ragging on Strike Freedom's trait set up on the head because it's just... Yeah, it's a double boost, but I just hate how it hamstrings you into two of the least supported weapon types in the game.
It's still easy to set up because it's only one requirement on a skin, but I do understand that.
Well, it's two requirements, fight me. If you're only going to use one
But
half
yeah.
of the trait spread, then why bother altering it?
True.
I would like to say, though, that there are a lot more dual sabers in the game now. And a lot of them are leaning towards shot port,
Shut
as
the
we'll
door,
see
yeah.
later. Yeah, when we get later to the
The scramble
you'll
ones.
see what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we've been having that for a trend now, and I think Strike Freedom started it.
Yeah,
Probably.
it did.
My gripe is with the trait support pool for dual sabers and twin rifles. Twin rifles especially are really not there. Outside
Yeah.
of Strike Freedom itself.
I mean-
It's amazing.
But
Well,
back to
unless
torso
you
real
have
quick.
the Jag Arch ones, though.
Yeah, but that's cheating.
I do.
Those are the best twins in the game, and it's completely unfair to
Wait,
everyone and anyone.
no. I have the two swords, not the two guns. Oh, now I'm sad.
No,
I mean, technically they're the same thing, just not in the game.
what I want to muse about real quick is this crit rate boost. It is taking,
Okay.
unfortunately, a dead mechanic because crit damage is way behind what it should be. It's like 10% at best. Only affects normal attacks, non-EXs. It's a crap mechanic, but the actual EX boosting it is interesting. because this, as well as the cooldown trigger, means that the whole world of traits we have here in front of me on the calc is open for some kind of buff effect. I
So
mean,
you're saying in the future we might get more buffs that are, as let's say,
outside of the box.
yeah, that are neglected trait effects that turn into a buff effect.
I'm actually curious if we're going
can
to
turn
get a
a
buff
switch.
that boosts funnel uptime.
Yeah,
like,
that's my
imagine
thought.
that.
Like some kind of Psychomu device boost. Like, I don't know, a new version of Biosensor. Nah, I guess it doesn't have remote weapons.
Yeah.
A new version of a Sakamu device where it's like, hey, you turn it on, and any funnel you cast after that has boosted uptime.
No, what I wish,
or my
if
favorite
we're gonna
idea.
Talk about funnels, yeah. No, if we're gonna talk about funnels, I want a buff that speeds up its movement speed. Imagine if funnel movement speed was a thing.
Imagine if pilots.
I'm not sure.
And
I'm not sure how we can make the funnel attack speed happen without actual mechanical changes to the game itself. The engine might be a limitation, because we really don't see many funnels attack faster. And if we do, they have a really small amount of presence. Like the, how are they called? The ones with incoms. It only has two incoms.
Gilvin
but they attack faster.
Gilvin Scree, because of the fun noise it makes.
So there might be some sort of internal limitation to the game itself.
Hey, if it lets Dovenwolf still carry that niche of being a super reliable funnel, I'm okay with that. I love it. More people need to alter it. Might be fun to go down this list quick. Like, we just got crit rate. Super armor and not recoil we already have in the form of Shockbringer and that one that I don't like because it's dumb, Armed Aura.
Yeah.
Oh, right, that.
What about stuff like Survival Fatal Blow? Like an EX buff state that you can turn on to give you like that one-time survival cushion. That'll be interesting.
That would be interesting.
For its duration.
Like during this time you survive. That would be very interesting.
So you're telling me as long as you have that buff activated, you can basically not die?
If
well, more or less, it would be like it would have some sort of limitation, of course. Maybe like the the shield from Starbuild Strike, like it lasts 1 second or something like that. So it would be like a very hard limit.
10 seconds maybe. Or even if we never get.
Remember,
my thought here is, what if we never get other slots for this particular trait? And at that point, it's balanced out by never giving you that flat 100, even with whatever the max of this EX would happen to be. Like, it still caps out at like 50 or 60. It's still an incredibly silly buff to have on that you can get slammed and just coin flip survive it. But with only having torso or pilot or whatever other slot it's in, which I don't think is any, actually, it's still not overpowered by not having that high percentage.
Yes. Also, let me just jump topics really fast, but it's still on this one. So with 3.1 coming up, it is clearly proven that we can have buff effect X time on a limited amount of availability, because it's coming on the limit break. So having a buff that increases buff X effect is possible.
I'm sad about those coming, but I understand that they're going to be strong.
Yes, a buff that increases any buff cast after that one.
Oh, so
because we have that for limit break. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That one is proven possible because it comes in the limit break.
Buff Time might be more interesting even. Now, hold on. Here's a dumb thought.
And the buff?
Is this effect going to be a buff itself?
Yeah.
Can it be affected by a buff?
That's interesting. We
no,
don't know.
I refuse. I hope they turn that off.
I think people test it critical, and this buff is not affected by buff
They
X
also tested X
defect.
Divider Head for the cooldown trigger, and that's not affected by buff up, even though it's a buff icon.
See, so they're testing
Yeah,
new
I hope they shut
things,
it
but
off.
they're sort of taking a slightly more care into the abusive mechanics.
Speaking of things I want to see on NEX, give me some of this right here. Damage output boosted. Flat damage boost on
That would
NEX.
be interesting.
Make it like hollow points.
I would use that. I would use that.
What was the fun SDGL one? Armor piercing rounds?
Yes. Yes, I think so.
We already have a cooldown reduced trigger, which is funny. Penetration might be interesting, but I honestly, Pierce is also one of those aspects of the game that really needs some help or rework. I'm not sure about rework because it is working as intended. Pierce works exactly how it should, effectively in situations that you can benefit from it. Unfortunately, with the way power scaling is...
Maybe if they could put something like a... Like, I was thinking maybe if Pierce had some sort of a damage multiplier the higher the HP of the opponent is.
Maybe, but I
so
don't
like a gravity effect. Yeah, that's interesting.
Like the idea of reworking this mechanic when this mechanic is working. It's just being dragged down by how the rest of the game is.
I'll be honest. Piercing has been very, very, very helpful for me in all in the current arena and the stats arena for melee defense. Piercing was carrying me very hard.
Counterpoint?
Because an X skill with double B plus was being more useful than an A minus one.
Now, hold on. You're talking about Pierce being tied with power on an EX. That's different. I'm talking about Pierce traits.
Well, yes.
Like, if you alter an EX to have Pierce as well as power, that's just bonus damage in every situation, regardless of how much bonus damage that is. That's good. I just mean, like, Pierce traits don't have a good home because of the way our power scaling currently is. Defensive stats are just eclipsed by offenses that are just getting higher and higher. And 9 times out of 10, a power trait is just going to give you more gains in 9 times out of 10 situations than a Pierce trait would.
True. Well, but yes, this one opens a lot of fun possibilities. Let's see what comes out of this in the future.
I want a recovery EX.
Agreed.
I want a state that you turn on to just like, oh, my heals are better.
No, I want one that gives me a projectile speed up. Like, make my bullets rocket speed.
We're not there yet, but yeah, that'll be interesting.
Oh yeah, that would be very interesting, yeah.
I can't see mag boost being something practical, but I'm sure they'll put it out eventually. Job gauge would be neat. You turn it on and then your manual gauge charge just like super speed. But that also feels like a bit of a waste, because then you'd use it, you charge, you activate your limit break, and then it's sitting there dead for like the 30 seconds your limit break is up.
Still,
sorry,
it's a way to reduce the cycle between limit bursts. That can be useful for defender builds, for example.
Could be. So you can just always have it up at the cost of an EX slot.
Yeah. I mean, you would be basically semi-immortal to PvE stuff if you always have defender aura up.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
You know, right after projectile, we technically have recover armor already. Auto repair. Off of Dark Army and
we do.
Wing on Waltz.
We have that with Wing, right?
Yeah.
Wing on Waltz and Dark Army. Which are specifically on Wing on Waltz in alpha variants. So while it'd be kind of dumb for them to put out a gamma is possible to apply a regen effect to your entire squad.
If there was anything that's gonna have a gamma effect like that, it will probably be
Crit boost.
Shia's Gunpla from Build Fighters Try. What was that again?
G-Portent?
Yeah.
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 I would say that, or it would also make sense for L's Quanta. 00 final unit.
I'd
also
also
want to turn into a flower?
Yes, the one that turned into a flower.
I'd be much happier if it had a Dark Army kind of power level than a Wing and Assault power level. Something that might still keep the 5%, but have a low duration, so you're not just making everyone immortal forever.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
It is night and day from Wing on Assault to Dark Army, from the duration alone. The duration is the only difference they have, and it makes such a difference that Wing can recover your HP to full by like 140%, and Dark Army only gets to 80.
It's awesome because you can stack buff duration traits and abuse Wing. But yeah, that's another joke.
Oh yeah.
Shot attack raise kind of exists, I guess. Shot guidance would be interesting. Though we never really see that come into play from the traits we have. The traits we have are also a low enough value that it's never worth stacking them. If we can just push a button and get guidance turned on by like 50%, that might be fun for things that have guidance but big spread, like Kabakali Shotgun.
Yeah. Now imagine
otherwise shit like missiles
the SP shot. SP shot boost is also interesting, though it also overlaps with shot.
Shot spread reduced. That'll be fun. Yeah, attach a choke.
Shotguns would do a...
Technically, we already have Vernier reduction and stuff like that in the form of like the
Ireland
skills.
Yeah, we do.
Vernier up. But this is an
interesting some awakenings do have it.
This is an interesting thought that we might get these in the future now that things like crit are getting the love. Also, fun trivia fact about Vernier recovery rate traits, like Vernier, what is it, Recovery Alpha, Violent. Show me what you're called. Fire.
Increasing the regeneration, or something like that?
Oh, I have a chance to survive.
You lost.
Fun fact about Vernier Up Alpha, it also refills your Vernier as soon as you use it. So you can be bone dry and on recharge, and when you cast it, it just refills.
That's actually interesting.
It's not useful in any way, because of the, the way this game works. But, actually, I have a good example of that. One moment. Let's look for Gun and Breaker Mobile Violent. Oh, what's this? Oh, what a weird video. Just hanging out here. When we get to Vernier Recovery Alpha, which should be the next one in here, you'll see that I'm actually recharging. Bam, straight to full. Let me get back there. Just bypasses the recharge period entirely and just fills you back up.
Oh wow!
Which even works.
And the capacity, 20% looks like it is a lot. It has one cool thing though. It should be very useful in clearing maps like the other multi-mission. The one with the Noble Path, exactly.
Yeah,
because I always run out of Vernier there.
That does work when
and
you're
it's one of the best places to farm some of the paints. So it's good to know that it exists if you need it.
So looking over the rest of Hazel 2 real quick, all these stats are wonderful. When I wrote up the overview page, my suggestions were arms, the saber, which I want to talk about real quick, and literally any part you want that you can bring to 99 because the stats on all these will be amazing.
What is the buff on the back?
I did not highlight it because it's not terribly crazy, but it is a Johnny Ridden Zaku kind of effect, same kind of visual for the buff. It gives you speed boost, it gives you a bunch of physical resist.
So it looks like a buff?
Yes, it's a buff with an awakening effect.
Yeah, it does increase texture, it does change textures, so if you use it with another awakenings, it won't stack.
Gonna break a mobile Hazel. Oh, hey, what's this?
Pretty much has an awakening cooldown too.
Yeah, the cooldown profile is not terribly attractive. I'll show you the effect here real quick. It looks actually very similar to Johnny Ridden Zaku, in that you get that blue tint with the Excuse me. Excuse me for the sneeze.
Yeah, okay.
Blue tint with the red little stylings on it.
It has tiny red lights, yeah.
Yeah.
The tiny red lights look really cool.
Very. I didn't highlight it though because as a buff, it does not get you a terrible amount of value out of it. The melee attack you boost off it is very low compared to, again, Johnny Ridden. And that physical resist isn't... Are you really going to compare it to Ogre?
No, Ogre isn't fair.
Mean.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, compared to high mobility thruster that pops you up to 24% with an anti-flinch, that's wonderful. Actually, why does that feel like a much, much better profile, too? Hold on.
Oh! And the cooldown. The cooldown is 3 seconds. The initial
51,
cooldown.
Oh.
63 seconds. If we go back
Oh,
to
this might actually be useful for Arena. The
51, 60, 12.
the Ridden buff.
So Ridden has always been value. Ridden has been fantastic. Like, I'm aware
Oh,
it's
but
only...
I didn't know the current Arena has been focused tremendously on buffs, and having a buff with the three initial cooldown is tremendous value.
And it is, while it technically has the Awakening skin, it still functions like a buff for the purposes of stuff like supporter passives as well. So you do still get that half cooldown in regular content. Yeah, but it's a 3-second buff with a melee attack boost. I'm aware that it's
Ridden
only
is
5%
unfair.
more than Hazel, but that 5% plus the anti-flinch makes it a hell of a lot more useful than Tri-Booster.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can probably keep it forever if you use just one of the duration traits. With just one,
Yep.
you're
The
infinitely
almost-
anti-flinch, and you can start from the beginning of the fight, which is impressive.
But
to say the
yeah,
least.
that's a thought that I don't think we've actually touched on. That's a great observation, Melga. That without any ICD investment, you can activate a melee buff.
Yeah.
I
valid.
mean, it gets in the way of people's favorite Big Barbados Yeet, but...
with Gaia Shield around and Axial Legs, with the 3 initial cooldown, you can almost run a single buff with 2 Yeets Arena build without any initial cooldown.
And just throw all
It's
those
interesting.
ICD slots into raw power and buff up effect.
Yeah.
Ah, that does sound viable, yeah.
Yeah, hey, Hazel, get out of here real quick. We're talking about Johnny Ridden. Johnny's back to being the hotness. Also, how cute is it that Hazel 2 has both Gundam and GM type? I love that. Because it's just
I think lore-wise, it was a head switch, right?
It's just a Jim Quell with a
like,
Gundam head
I think
on
it's
it.
a Jim Quell, right? Yeah, it's basically a Jim Quell with a Gundam head.
And they're like, hey, I wonder
I'm
how
remembering
spooked
that
out
correctly.
the Xeon remnants would be if we put a Gundam head on this. Let's bully them. It's to test the
Yeah.
psychological effect on remnants.
It should work. It should work. Scary enough.
Now, the Hazel 2, of course, just being pretty much a dress form that they put spare parts for Hazel 1 on. Except they kept getting their shit kicked in by things a test team should not encounter, so they had to roll out the Hazel 2 as a main combat unit anyway. The sabers that other part I highlighted, this is something, Melga, you and I actually talked about previously. A
I think
neutral affinity bonus.
Yeah. Also, going back to arena meta, as it is, the stat arenas that we usually talk about are the ones that either you have the stat or you don't. But a lot of times, due to you optimizing the stat, you end up without having an attribute, as it is my current status in the arena. I'm neutral right now. So fighting everyone else, this will boost my damage.
While there are other sources you can probably get around much easier with tags or even pilot types that will give you this 25% melee bonus, this is still a very strong option to just get a free boost off of running no attribute. Because if you are no attribute, everyone is neutral.
It's a big incentive, to be sure.
I
And
want-
it really excites me for the fact that we might get more of these, and
Yes.
probably more standard parts that could go up to like 30%, or alters that could go up to 35%.
I
something
want
like that.
more support that gives you a reason to be attributeless. Also, just
Yeah.
Yeah,
refresh
it's
my
happening.
memory. What was Zaz's deal that I like so much? Oh, come back, window. It was all technique with the standard size power boost. Okay. I think
And you
did
killed
Za
him.
have a neutral? Za did not have any
No.
neutral traits. I'm thinking of its machine gun being
Oh, no.
3 technique 1.
Well, 3 technique is still funny, but yes,
It's still
it's
funny.
more. Oh,
and
that
it was a standard tier trait.
gonna be more useful in the new league system, but we'll get to league a bit later on.
I don't actually remember what the shields did, but I hated them. Oh yeah, passive shot boost 20, and the other shield was. Actually, let me do by date. This will be fairly recent. Flat damage, which on a shield, I don't think that's a slot we see that trait in, outside of like, what, Exia?
Yeah. So it can be
Unicorn.
fun.
It's an uncommon. Oh, and armor's 40% or more. Excuse me, Unicorn. It's an uncommon slot to have that damage boost in, so it's a bit of a gimmick, but it's still never worth it, even on a flat damage build. 20 isn't giving you anything. And it's not
Well,
sexy
but
shield.
20 is nice. 20 is nice if you need something to clear the Hyperion quest in Nishi. 20 should be enough if you grab a machine gun and you run away a lot.
1000 HP, so 20 is only gonna need. Is that only 50 hits?
Yeah, 15 hits.
50 hits. Wow, that's actually really manageable with just one trait. 50-20 is. Calculator. I can't believe I'm doing this for 50 times 20. But. It's early and I still haven't sipped my coffee. Oh, hell no. 100,000 divided by 20 damage. Oh, yeah, it's 50. So you really only need. I don't know why I put 15. So you really only need 50 shots. That actually makes it incredibly manageable with one trait. Huh.
Yeah, with a machine gun
that's
or
like 2
a
mag dumps.
dual gun or a...
That's a single heavy arms TV or endless waltz torso.
So it's viable. It's useful if you know what you're targeting for.
It's useful.
And it can help you clear Nishi challenges.
In one very specific situation, yes.
It's still useful.
So you can say it's pretty niche, right? A niche.
Really
incredibly. Hey, what's the primary tag here, Chief?
A niche straight.
Yeah, exactly.
Niche. I like it.
Oh, I still haven't gotten myself a blue mid-range yet because I'm a big goober.
Shame.
Do I have a green mid-range? Oh my god, my mid... Yeah, I do. Okay. Just want to see real quick if I set this up properly, even without subs. Like, how we
yeah, you're gonna go get like 40k shot without much trouble. With a good pilot. If you trigger
not
both
even a
tags,
pilot yet, but let's throw on a Gundam type long shooter like Amuro. Gundam type long shooter. Fucking Tieria, sure, he's easy too. Now let's just do Amuro, just a base 80 Amuro, and let's put on the real boy shield that's gonna let me do this. With the long shooter bonus, bam! 90% of content in the game can be handled by this without subs. With green gear on my leg.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Very impressive for a welfare.
Compared to the turd we got last week, yeah.
I used what we got last week to clear the first 10 waves of build circuit.
I don't understand
happened. It was not a fun experience.
Its traits, its stat distribution, it feels like this was something that was supposed to be like in the 3-star pool or something. or 2-star,
Yes.
and they held on to it for too long and forgot about it and put it in a closet, and
Probably.
they needed a filler week, so they just dug it out and threw it as is.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. And I'll be honest with you, it was not very fun to clear the first 10 laps of build circuit with that, but it did work. It did work.
It might be,
but only because of type advantage.
we're talking about the Gray's Areas, of course. It might literally be the only event overview we have ever done that has no suggested parts, because everything is
No
OP.
recommendations. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those that you get for the skin, and even then, for
It's a
the skin
slightly
you can
different head.
get like the two unique pieces. Yeah, you can get the two unique pieces, the back and the head, and move on,
I
ignoring
think
it
some
completely.
kind person, maybe even Counter, checked it for me. Like, the paint zones aren't even different. Get off of there. The paint zones aren't even different from the standard grays. It's tragic.
It's not a good one, yeah.
Well, the one thing it had going for it were its tags, though.
The
Very
tags
good to
that I
max
can
out.
just go grab
Oh,
some 1-star
yeah,
for
that's
better
right.
tags.
Commander.
Yeah.
Solid commander value. And considering our requirements are going up next week.
Oh yeah.
And since they are going up, the bare minimum, it's probably good value if you max
No,
it out
I'm
at least
challenging
to
your
99
praise.
to get
It
those
is not
tags
good
out.
value.
It
No,
is because we had a bingo for it.
Okay, that would be only value.
Your only reason to be wrong in this one is that it has a bingo, so you're basically getting
But I
paid
am
to
not
max
wrong,
it out.
because I'm still not bringing that to 99. 90 is all you need for bingo.
Still, it's closer
We're
than
taking
getting
a
a
field trip
1-star.
to see what other value
Oh
you
no,
can get
don't
for
do
cheaper.
that.
And I'm selecting only
Oh
heads
no, don't do
because
that.
they only require 8 dupes. It actually has literally less resources and capital to max one of these than maxing those Gray's Areas. Oh look, you're also getting Federation. Oh look, you're also getting Ace. Oh look, you're also getting Long Range. Like, any one of these would be better.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest on this one. While these are better value tag wise, it is not, you would have to max a bunch of these to get proper value, and just going through the full suit that you're going to have at 90 anyway. It works. It's less effort than go from something from 0.
Melga, eat my butt. This is 1 growth, and Gray's Areas was 3 growth. I can literally max 2 of these in the same number of dupes as 1 Gray's.
The dupes, yes. The experience, and oh yeah, the experience is still 1 growth.
It's not on Gray's Areas though. Gray's Areas was 3.
I know. I'm just gonna keep saying that Gray's Areas was value, because I cleared build circuit with it. I got it to 99. It helped my commander pool, and I got an amazing bingo ticket from it. But let's be honest. If someone came now to the game and joined this week and asked, "Oh no, what did I lose last week?" and we can say straight up nothing.
Yeah, basically.
You lost the 1,000 event coins that I saved, that I spent on wonderful things like word tags or chips for my amazing crew.
I'll be here, just thinking that my value was good.
Right. Do you have any other thoughts about Hazel 2?
Let me convince myself it wasn't bad.
Do we have any other thoughts about Hazel 2?
It's solid. Get it to 99. This is one of the few that I'll straight up say it's better to go. It's good to go 99.
Get something to
mid-range and yeah, it's mid-range. It's Gundam type. It's gym type, which is rare, and it can easily be marked. This is a perfect filler unit for almost any content.
Oh, that's kind of hot.
Yeah, definitely.
Not even right away
I hope it
either.
starts the trend of higher stat event suits.
And if you need X skills, we can go through the next thing that we're going to talk about.
Right. Not even 99 immediately. Just make sure you max out those traits and EXs so you can
Yes.
99 at a future date. But this is actually
Oh,
taking these
Hazel
pins really well.
It's good there.
Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah.
I hate how good that looks. I love the separation of the thrusters on top of the arms. Like on top of the shoulders.
Yeah. That's solid.
That's a good head. Cool. I love this head. Do you have Vulcans? No, you don't.
No Vulcans
you
for
have,
you.
high power sensors instead. I mean, to be fair, it does have those, looks like gun launchers in the shoulders integrated instead. Those guys right there. I think those were multi-launchers.
Might need some leg adjustment.
Like, I think those were, in fact, multi-launchers, so it's forgiven not having Vulcans, because at least it has some, you know, defensive weapons there. But, yeah, next on the agenda would be... Boop, 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 boop. Strike Rouge is back.
Good friend, Strike Rouge. See? The altar we have right now is the altar that... Value!
There is some value there, yes. Rouge has never really been anything exciting in those old arena days, with the exception of IWSP dominating then, now, and in the future, all days, every day, 1,000 years.
Yes, that back is just amazing.
Well, maybe not in this meta, but
yes,
it's still very useful.
Well, it still punches a guy in the face and does enough damage to take down all their HP, so...
Yeah, like very few EXs can actually compare to it. That's the thing it has going for it.
Its combination of efficiency, yes. The damage it puts out and the time it puts out with the investment you need for ICD, which not anymore. Altered is now 3 seconds, but we'll get to that. Statistically, I've never been terribly in love with anything on here. It's an old, ancient arena suit, so it didn't really do anything right. It always had low offense, high defense, and even with conversion, it wasn't favorable.
You can just look at Hazel. We and Hazel and just say, poor little Strike Rouge. Not even Alter could save its stats.
Now, to be fair,
okay,
Sumo wasn't saved either. Like, the arena suits aren't going to get a terrible glow up unless they were good to begin with. Like G04, go get it and max it out now.
Okay, but one thing that Strike Rouge does have is that chest trait, though.
Yes.
We can go down the line on that. We can go down the line on that.
Okay.
You know, even way back, it didn't have any kind of fantastic traits happening. Nothing on it.
It did get... Strike Rouge was indeed the first of its kind with an integrated shield and gun at the same time.
It was what gave us Gatlings.
Yeah,
like
we
this
got
was
chain
our
guns
introduction to Gatlings.
It's good.
If I select Seed MSV here, blessed Seed MSV. I love zips. Combine shield. Yeah. It was an interest experiment that didn't do really anything exciting. None of its traits, none of its EXs outside that back were anything close to valuable. Even Kigali herself was, you know, pretty okay mid-shooter when she came out. Projectile speed has been useful for testing.
She had her tags.
She was a mid-range mid-shooter.
Mid-range helped a lot.
Yeah.
Mid-range helped a lot. And for a while, that 900 was one of the best we could get on 3 stars.
Yeah. For
quite a while. So getting it maxed and easy access was solid. Like for someone starting out, it was like, oh, just grab a Kigali and IWSP and you have a starting shooter.
Yeah.
I thought I had her, thought I had a maxed out version of her. Well, we got time right here, right? I have the resources. It's gonna bug me that she's not maxed out, because it's just a mid-range tag that I'm just sitting on not collecting.
Exactly.
So you get to watch me
Gotta
do
get
that,
those values.
Now, as far as the alteration goes, since we established there's really not much going on here, let's take a peek at what it actually
what
gained.
is? Yeah, let's go look at the alteration page. I am aware you have a very good setup there, but yeah, looking at the
19%
Rouge itself.
Vulcans! Okay, Vulcans are a meme. I'm just happy I got a strike-looking head with Vulcans I can use my max debuff with. It's cute.
If only it
And-
went up to B minus though, then maybe I'd pay attention to it.
I would be happy even with C. Double C would be useful for me.
Yeah, looking at these stats, it really didn't go anywhere with the altar. None of these early welfares
It
or
did
early
not.
arenas
Yeah.
rather are going to. I don't have big expectations for Johnny Ridden Gilgoog outside of its amazing trait spread. It's going to be the same way when it hits. Commander
True.
4 base, of course. Having Commander through has always been a good early investment, but otherwise there's not much there. The torso that you guys have been wanting to talk about is probably the most solid altar advancement on this thing. It's just an easy access.
But we can straight up say one thing though. It is a permanent altar. Being a permanent altar means you can max the part, and you can, if you don't have resource to alter it now, keep the part at level 10 and do it later.
Focus on your treasure missions to max these parts out. Don't worry about altering them until you can. This is probably the one trait part on this that you're going to want to alter. It's not even universally useful. It's just pretty good.
Yeah, 20% and on commander it's a sub. You can sub.
That's basically standard pull rate on a welfare card.
Yeah, and you can support it on almost anything with commander. It's good.
And it's not that hard since commander is like such a premium tag these days.
It is.
I'm just looking
like filter that by commander. Filter that by commander.
What you want to see? What commander cards have EX reductions?
Cooldown, yeah.
Yuzaku, eat it.
Go it on cooldown.
I mean, it's 50%, but.
See?
But those are non-altered. If Yuzaku gets some kind of awesome second trait on that torso, you're gonna eat it.
Yes, the Zaku torso has potential.
If it gets an awesome second trait, either the Doga or the Zaku. But actually, Axe cooldown? That's interesting. Something to keep an eye on later. Commander is the most ideal shooter tag. It just gives you the biggest benefit with leg gear. It's not always easily slottable, though. A lot of people don't run it because they can't comfortably. But having another torso with a pip of it, that gives you a pretty okay cooldown reduction trait for regular play that you can sub in a slot.
Yeah.
It makes life easier.
Definitely, yeah. Makes it easier to make those 100% cooldown builds. Yeah. Definitely.
I don't think any other part really got that much of a glow up. The arms do have a 30% back boost. Which I guess
I would like to vouch for the arms, though.
If you are throwing out a single EX in any environment like Arena, and you're using a back EX, and you have a good one, it's 30% on the arms. It's not the worst thing. It's a little better than what you're going to get from like the 2-star, 3-star alteration arms.
Yep.
Yeah, and the thing is, you can easily max this out and get that 30%. Because a lot of the times, we have like, there's not a lot of arm traits, especially for shooters, and usually those are limited parts or standard pull parts that you have to have 12 of. So this is like way easier to max out before you have those.
Yeah, we have the I think it was Jesta or Jagan that had a 25% shot boost.
Same with
So, and this one, and so this one is like 25%, 30%, I mean.
30%,
so it's straight up better if you have skill only.
I wouldn't chase
it,
but if you acquire enough of these arms to get up to that level, fantastic. But I wouldn't chase it.
Yes, good but optional, per se.
Alright, Melga, it's time for you to somehow defend Rapid Thrust.
I'll defend Rapid Thrust with my life.
Pass. Hard pass. I just shadowed it on the view, man.
I read that.
I mean, A power. This is
Woo!
bisect. This is bisect.
It
Yes,
is
but
not
bisect
bisect, and you
is
know
like
it.
one good slash.
Why would
Dude,
you lie
rapid
to
thrust
me?
is like dividing that A into a lot of D's. Just think about it. That A is divided into a lot of D level thrusts.
You
But do
just sit there
remember
and stab a
something.
guy like a
This
jerk.
has super armor, so you can use it while surrounded by enemies, and you will
And you
slash
will
them
take
down.
damage as they shoot you. Correct.
Yes, you will. That is true. But I still think it's a viable option if you want to clear a bunch of enemies, and at that power profile and that cooldown, it's not a bad X skill. I won't say it's mandatory. Mm, There are other options in the standard pool for you to use and have fun with, but I would still think it's a valuable part if you can afford to
Beginner
max it.
Shining has it for free.
I think I would prefer something like a saber flurry than a rapid thrust. Those back EXs from say the Astray Green Frame or
Yeah,
maybe something like
Okay,
the Unicorn back.
we can't play with Green Frame. All the Green Frame's animations are really goddamn cool. It's a shame it's stuck on a 2-star.
Yeah, true.
but yes, I would say it's usable, but it's not a priority in any kind of way. I accept that.
I'm not
there are other
spending my
things I
altar
would
tools on
rather
it.
use. Well, as you know, it's a permanent altar, so you can use it
is.
eventually in the future if you want to. It does have that advantage.
So, Damian, you're thinking of
Yeah,
something
true.
like Double Saber Rush, like that.
Yeah. That one's really useful in BC, especially.
Rushes are a little
I mean,
better
whenever I'm not-
combos. I mean, I don't care for combos in the first place, but rushes do get a little bit of a wider range on them.
Yeah. It's definitely gonna tag anybody around you.
I'll be with my tank build and trying to solo missions. One of the main things I would try to find is X skills with super armor that could kill more than one enemies in the combo. And the slashes like the green frame legs are really good value on that type of thing.
Alright, it's not
Clearing
the same.
a lot of
Oh,
enemies
it is
at
the same
once
as
is
Stream
always
Slash.
good.
Is that the same as Stream Slash?
No, Stream Slash is something else.
Stream Slash ends the same, at least. In that same
Stream
kind of
Slash
double
has
pose.
some sort of mobility, right?
Yeah.
No.
Wait, you meant the leg.
Green frame, green frame.
Okay, this is slowing down. This is slowing down for me.
Yeah, they are different animations. My bad. They are different animations, though they end in the same kind of double-handed sweep out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not defending Rapid Thrust. He's not defending Rapid Thrust. You're on your own island, man.
I understand. I accept that. I'll take that loss.
I don't know.
I like it, but I'll take that loss.
I don't know what
at least
more
since
to
you're
say
showing
about-
animations.
Yeah.
Since you're showing animations, show the Strike Rouge animation. Show us
Rapid
the
Thrust.
the
I
Rapid
can
Thrust.
show you any Rapid Thrust.
No, but show us this one. I mean, we are talking about this unit. Might as well.
Okay,
Don't tell me
fine,
you
I
don't
will.
have the video, my friend. Don't
Here's
tell
your
me you don't have the
Vulcans.
video.
Here's your dual shredder, which I hate. Here's your rapid thrust. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Wow, it's so fancy. Let's watch
Exactly.
it again. I think I missed it. I blinked. It's rapid thrust, man.
Yeah.
He
It
wasn't
has a
good
bunch
on
of
day
wide.
one.
Look at the. It has a few way wider forward slashes before the stabs. So those
So does
clear a lot of
Saber
enemies really
combo.
fast. It's good. I know. I'm just saying, it can be used. It's not gonna break any meta or bring anything amazing to the table. But yeah,
If
no,
we're
I'll
talking
take the
about
loss.
can be
It's not-
used,
There are other options, yes.
then I'd rather you use green frame. because it's cooler. Specifically, its unique EX. Right there, twin sword rifle. Look at that. It's neat. Da, spinny spin, down. That's neater. It's actually probably more effective. Probably not. I'm just angry.
Nah. Well, the only question I have there would be if the green frame has super armor on that one. If it does,
Yes.
it might be better, yeah. But anyway, maybe let's move on. I understand. Rapid Thrust is usable.
Garbage.
It's a permanent alter, but it won't win any prizes at all.
Spend a beginner's
So-
coin to get the same thing. Hey, so I don't know
I would
what
use it
more
for
we can
something
say
else.
about Railgun and Cannon. It's been used since it came out. The alter isn't adding any real damage, but it is reducing that cooldown to 3 seconds initially. So you don't have to invest in ICD.
And that's a big,
Yeah.
That's a
You
big
have
deal. I
freed
think.
up a trade slot. It is
Yeah.
if you can, you should kind of alter. But it is still perfectly serviceable and pretty much identical as it is. It's good, it goes burt, it blows the guy up. If you hit your buttons fast enough like a madman, you can fit it in with a 456 finish. Actually, now with the clock changes and the time freezes we're seeing, you can probably spam that into 457.
It's disgusting that those rail guns just shoot things dead everywhere. A lot of hits, a lot of damage. What else can we complain about it? Nothing.
Nothing to complain about.
Yeah,
Unlike
nothing.
these
Oh,
dual sabers.
I can also say that the back has Commander and Gundam type, so if you are leveling your Vortex, the back is still
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
is
does the
even good
legs
for that.
though, but I'm still gonna ignore that because rapid thrust.
Please let that one go. I'll still max the legs though.
Just like you should let go these weapons.
Oh yes.
Man, these
yes,
went nowhere.
Those weapons are.
They're not even good swords.
They only have one good thing though. In dual
Commander?
sword, Commander is really hard to come by.
I don't
Oh, yeah,
know. I
true.
bought like 4 Montero blades.
Still,
I mean,
uh,
Montero was fairly recent, while we
Mm.
had these swords for what a long,
Ages.
long time now. Yeah, and I think it's one of the very few melee weapons at the time that had S for base, and there were just really very few for base parts, especially for build trainers.
I see. Interesting question for you. Who cares about build training? I was gonna say, who cares about 4 base?
Yeah,
Oh,
build
no.
training.
well, you can care about 4 base if you're doing build circuit. If it's like one tag that is boosted, having these dual swords can help. But it's a niche situation as
That's
usual.
not value.
Yeah.
It's one limited situation on top of a limited situation. I
My
know.
turn to shit on Dual Shredder. It's just not good. I'm fairly sure
One of those
the
EXs
original
I wish were good.
was C- power, which still, even after the alteration up to B- power, does not do any kind of damage. It's just a very low
you confirm me
damage
something?
archetype weapon. I can.
Can you confirm me something? Do we have any Gatling gun with Commander and Gundam type
Yeah, this one.
besides that one?
Gatlings with shooter tags are actually a little hard to come by.
Oh.
Gatlings themselves are pretty rare.
The problem
No,
we're
I was
running
just
into
thinking
here
that
with you,
it has the good old trick of a regular weapon as a sub for an integrated weapon and
Yeah.
gives double stats, so double transfer. So that could possibly bring us some funny situations. But yeah, If it's that hard to
Integrated.
find,
But it's integrated,
Incredibly.
isn't it? And
It is
integrated
integrated.
parts don't actually translate all of its
Correct. They get halved.
supposed bonus stats, right?
no,
Yeah.
it does. It does. Integrated. If you use integrated as main,
Gets double
integrated as main,
inheritance.
it gets double transfer
Yes.
from a sub.
But as a subpart,
So it's
it's
interesting.
halved.
Yes,
okay.
as a subpart is clearly bad.
So this dude has Gundam from Full Armor Unicorn. This dude has Gundam from Command. And the only thing with Commander is going to be Combine Shield. You can match one tag from this, I guess.
Yeah.
But then in that case, I'd rather get a hold of a P-type. Just kind of slap that in there.
True. True. That by itself is almost better than subbing it.
A lot of things are. You can do better for a commander tag on your shield or your gun than this, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
Like this
Looks
actual
cool, at
shield
least.
that people forget it has. Yeah, by the way, Strike Rouge has an actual shield. No one's ever seen it.
What do we do with that shield?
Nothing. Trash it.
It's a shield, I guess. It exists.
It's got bad traits
Yes.
and some pretty middling stats. It's there.
It has command shield, at least. But yeah, that's the whole value of this.
Making me look. You're actually gonna do this to me. Commander shield.
Oh,
It's a big
obviously
list.
I am. Obviously.
Oh look,
Obviously
one
I'm going to
stars.
bother you with this. Oh, god damn it. There
One
you go.
stars with
Why do you have to kill me so hard?
similar overall stats.
Fair enough. You win this one.
So as far as Strike Rouge goes, we're looking at the torso in the back, really. The arms are a niche case. If you can make it work, but don't pursue them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to see
Yeah,
it back,
we can go with that.
but it's not exactly blowing my mind here.
I'll still say it. Get if you don't have the full set, at least get one part of each.
Always get full set.
Because the game changes a lot. The game changes a lot, and some things that are 100% useless can somehow find their way to be workable.
Never not get a full set.
Not 99 full set is something else altogether. But at least one piece of each, get it.
Now this is something cute that popped up that I just want to look at real quick. The banner that came up midweek. Build Fighters banner.
Yeah.
Oh.
It exists.
Oh wait, my screen is frozen. Wait, give me a second. Oh, it's moving. It exists, but it doesn't have altars.
It exists. It gives you B material, and that's it. B
Oh, do
material,
remember,
fragments.
we get. Don't worry too much about it not having the altar available. If you have the badges for these parts, Wednesday will bring something amazing for them.
Maybe.
We're not
we'll
yet
see.
sure if it means all of the outers already, though.
We don't even know what alters
Well,
it means.
They straight up the Japanese stream was a very positive reinforcement of Subete, all altars. But let's see.
But we
Let's
don't know
see.
what that
The
means.
Japanese stream, exactly. They could say all the altars, but it mean all the welfare altars.
All the 2-star and 3-stars. You're giving me and our 3 viewers false hope. I'm so sorry, Mana.
I'll give everyone false hope because this matters. They said so, and I'll be here waiting for it. I'll expect everything and be disappointed in this case.
It's not
So
a bad
you're telling
lineup.
me that the anniversary Altar Fest was kind of like a trial run?
Yeah, probably. They say they will keep asking for the same materials, and one of the examples they said for the permanent altars was Yakushiki.
Oh, so we are at least getting an event.
Exactly.
Then what I want to
At
do,
the bare minimum, Shiki will be there.
when that happens, I would love to go back through and talk about all those altars in its own contained video.
Oh damn, we have quite a few fun things to
Yeah.
do.
I've had a lot of time to reflect on those and what I've missed. Yeah, Capsule exists, the lineup ain't bad, but it is kind of sort of bait, even though I don't like that term. It's not really worth pulling on unless you're absolutely desperate for this series for some reason. It's no
and
guarantees.
it doesn't even have a ticket to choose at the end. That's the worst thing about this banner.
Oh yeah.
It's not
Yes,
great.
MC is going to confirm.
What? Oh no, I already looked.
Freebie, no ticket.
There's no ticket.
Oh, okay.
You're just guaranteed a 5-star in a few of the last steps, 3, 4, and 5. You gotta dig in 4,500 deep just to be guaranteed something.
Yeah, you gotta love those suits if you pull that one.
They're all pretty good.
Otherwise, I would say
but-
behave.
I mean, I guess it does have like Galaxy Cosmos there, but
and the
yeah,
Shia
not really
and the Shia Quant, which was pretty recent,
Oh,
And try
and,
burning.
and has those. Yeah, I think so. I think it has Shia there. It has
Oh,
those tremendously good arms.
It has
with
Shia,
40
and it has
boosts.
try burning.
Exactly.
Oh, I see.
And
Suddenly you get dark matter, right?
yeah, but you could get everything but what you need. So
It has Cosmos Shield
with-
for that one guy who doesn't show up
Exactly.
for Cosmos Shield.
Cosmos Shield, Try Burning, Mao back, which is also pretty solid.
Yeah, Bow's in there.
The Skull Boy.
Actually, X-Mau's in here. Is Bow in here? Bow is not in here?
Yeah.
Wait.
What it was? It was.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Oh, thank God. Oh, my baby. It's the one thing that's keeping me competitive. Is the chips I put on this banner.
I dived pretty hard on that Skull Boy. I got the whole suit except the skull and then recycled more than I should have to chase it. But I do have the Skull Boy, which is what matters. Gotta be happy, everyone. Chase happiness.
While we're here, let's just take a look at the pilots real quick for the week. Alan B is actually really neat. Outfighter with some pretty good offenses and a buff up effect. She's a strong addition to mobile fighters.
Yes, that's one of the best value in a while. And do notice that her stats are really optimized.
Oh yeah,
With
Yeah.
3.1, that will scale up tremendously.
she's just gonna
It's really
punch
good.
the shit out of things.
It's just too bad about that for urban area though.
It has mobile fighter to start, so it's an okay thing. But yeah, she doesn't get full score. Not at all.
Daryl has some surprisingly solid stats, though his trait is a complete meme. You know, it's a 3-star. We're not expecting a whole lot.
Remind me again who Daryl is?
He becomes
It's
a
one of the
sword.
guys that got. One of the guys that was, let's say, had a bad.
Okay,
on
he was
Gundam
one
00.
of Graham's wingmen.
One of the friends of Bushido Boy. Yeah. one
Daryl
of
Dodge
Graham's
and Howard
wingmen.
Mason. He's actually the one that cost lock on his eye.
T.
He drove his GNX right into him from the flank. He's the one that cost lock on his eye. I think, right?
I see. Alright.
I don't remember that scene specifically.
Well,
I
maybe it
remember
wasn't
he
his
got
eye,
a bad end.
or maybe he's the one that fucked up Dynamis enough that Ali could take advantage of it.
I think it was the armor, the GN arms.
Yeah.
That he shot a bit. But yeah.
He becomes a sword. And when we get Maserau, he might actually be better as a sword.
Who knows?
I mean, we have to get Maserau, right? Eventually? Did it have a
I hope
Did
so.
it have a kit?
Hmm. That's actually a good question.
Yes, it did.
It does.
It has its own kit, separate to Sanawo. Alright. So yeah, we gotta get it someday, and it'll be a really easy model swap for them.
Yeah,
can
it's
have its
mostly
own
color
silly,
changes
unique
and the
things,
beam
yeah.
saber.
And his two swords, Daryl and Howard.
Oh,
He's such a goober.
okay.
It's a fun suit.
And I guess we can start wrapping up with the actual content for the week, being Hot Scramble and that thing we'll talk about. Hot Scramble's neat. I mean, it's not crazy. It's not heavily optimized. As a whole, it's got some big stat baits. It's a solid Sokai level thing, yeah. And it does a few neat things.
It's got the numbers.
The shot defense is probably what carries this suit, because it's all around pretty high.
Yeah.
So it can beat some of the older alters like Strike Freedom Alter. This suit at level 90 and gold mark beats Strike Freedom red marked at 99.
Solid, yeah. I don't think we need to go part by part, but just highlight the big things about it. But
yeah. Mm-hmm. The problem with Hot Scramble is that it's kind of like a hard package to swallow. It's like all of these numbers kind of mask the fact that it's not really like the best package overall if you're going to use it for a shooter base.
Yes,
it's got
I
big
would rather
numbers.
use Zai.
And Rapid Thrust.
I would rather use Zai.
Yeah, definitely. Because, it's the tags and some of the traits and all of the X's are kind of underwhelming.
Even its 40-40, which exists on the arms in this case.
Oh, it has a Rapid Thrust.
It has a Rapid Thrust. We hate it. You'll read it in the draft. We've already shit on it.
I ripped that Rapid Thrust on the review.
It's worse than the Strike Rouge one.
Yeah, because you can't max it out that easily, man.
Yeah.
It's the worst Rapid Thrust.
It's 40-40 that exists on the arms in this case. Even here, they have a really kind of harsh downside. As Melga can attest
20% damage. Yeah.
That bypasses everything,
away.
Right?
Just run away.
You gotta be Kira. You gotta be Kira.
Let me just go on these. As I work a lot with reduction, this type of trait works as a negative addiction. Like, for example, if you have 100 reduction, with these arms equipped, you would have 80.
Gotcha. So this just bypasses everything pretty much. You're going to take 20% more damage no matter what you do.
Yes.
That adds up.
Yes, most of the time.
Big. If you equip 2 of these with something like, what is it, Lupus Rex? Has another 20% incoming damage. That starts getting real dicey.
Yeah, it's one of those that you use for something like Arena or just multi-mission to one-shot them pretty hard.
So what you're telling me is...
That's probably the only way to avoid.
What you're telling me is it's limited in use.
It's like high risk, high reward, yeah.
High risk, high reward, exactly.
Gotcha.
But I still think it can be used. If you don't stack too many of these, just 20% damage taken is not that hard when most of the game is like, don't take damage.
Yeah.
And also, it's one of the rare arms that have double traits for shooters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ain't.
And they start at 25, both of them. So that's monstrous. You can get 50% from a level 1 part. It's like not fair.
Yeah, and honestly, it's just the fact that it's within a pool that's not really the best for a shooter build that kind of really lets it down. It's gonna be hard to fish for that part when the rest of the parts aren't as good, not even remotely.
No. I guess commenting on its one and only EX it doesn't have any others. It's just this one. I guess the shield too. This and the shield are its only EXs. You can't change my mind. Commenting on this back real quick, it has the unfortunate regular Jirobi shooter profile for cooldown. So big initial, big recharge. You're not going to get many off. When you do use it,
I'll be honest with you. It's worse than regular.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, isn't regular like 90?
Satsu level, dude.
Ah.
Regular?
Yeah, regular is 90.
That's
Yeah.
rough.
So this is worse. Like you could grab regular Freedom Wings and get a way better option in this case.
Double bullet arms.
For example, but those do less damage.
Those are
If you go
38s
for
at B
straight up
plus.
I understand.
Yeah.
It's still not Freedom Back. Freedom Back is unfair.
Oh no, I was comparing it to Hot Scramble.
Damage wise. Yeah.
I was comparing double bullet to Hot Scramble in this case.
And double bullet wins versus Hot Scramble.
I will say Hot
because
Scramble.
You can use it 4 times. 4 times.
Yeah.
Versus 1 use of Hot Scramble.
Buster Beam
4?
though.
No, it's more. It's more than 4 times because you can max it.
Oh, yeah, you can get it in 6 times because it's what, 21? Let's round down and just say
Yeah.
6 times.
So 6 uses of double bullet arms per 1 use of Hot Scramble back. It's not worth it in this case.
Buster Beam though is a wide, thick boy. If it has one advantage, it's that those triple beams are a huge coverage. You cannot safely sidestep out.
It has that buff, right? If only that was an offense buff, then I would probably consider it. But it's not an offense buff. It's not Rampage.
I don't know.
It's not even Mao. It's not even Mao or Sherazad.
It's not even Exa Full Burst.
Yeah.
Which is like not as wide.
But one thing, did anyone test it? If this can hit multiple times in ZAM or something like that?
Oh, because if it's big,
that could be what makes this usable.
Melga, Big Zom isn't out. How could we do that? Melga, come on.
True. No,
but yes,
you know I'm always unfair.
Zom's hitboxes are fucked.
Next week we'll have Satan probably next week, right?
So yeah, if you can line up the shots to take advantage of the 3 beams that it shoots, it can save this into a big boss killer kind of thing. But it won't beat Rampage. It won't beat the other options.
Yeah.
It's just there because it looks cool.
Look, there's a reason why Majin didn't name this the Amazing Scramble.
Touché.
I know Damian likes the Twin Sabers, and I can see why.
Yeah. I mean, I like it from a shooter standpoint.
Yes.
Because it has support capabilities.
They're still pretty good melee weapons, too. 9300 strong for Unaltered.
Oh, yeah, for Unaltered, yeah, definitely.
I see...
And it even has that Transformer tag in case you're running a melee Transformer build.
Can I scare you guys with something?
Yeah,
This Unalteration has so much shot defense that it beats Strike Freedom shot attack on Sabers.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is why I love these, man.
They are a monster.
I have the Akatsuki Saber at 99. Yeah. And that is like my most powerful shooter saber because of the raw power that shot depth gives me.
Mm-hmm.
I will give Akatsuki Saber, though,
has that much.
Full credit for being Saber type. The amount of subs you can put in that are infinitely bigger than this thing. You can drop so many traits in Akatsuki.
Still, this is still very solid. The trait is not amazing in this one, but the raw amount of shot defense and armor is good.
This is my favorite version of cooldown triggers. 15 seconds is perfect. Take that back.
It's a Goldilocks zone in terms of cooldown time triggers.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15 is good.
10 seconds, you got to dump everything you got to get the full benefit of it. 20 seconds, you're waiting forever.
That one, yeah.
15 is perfect. Yeah. Thank you. I love it. Everything else is, just good. Good, various degrees of good. The Mega Launcher EX on the shield, even altered, is nothing crazy.
It's actually kind of the same as the Hainu HWS.
Oh, right. But the Hainu HWS was a boss killer. That one hit like a truck.
This is going to be 2 altered, but it still has that Droby profile, so...
Well, if it has a 90 90-20 something, that's usable for one-use kills.
Yeah, I mean they're functionally the same. The way I
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah, 90-23.
If the damage is the same, it will be pretty damn solid as use.
All the stats on
We
this thing
just
are
need
monstrous. It
a
just
raid.
doesn't have the tag spread.
Yeah, exactly. Oh god,
Oh,
that
hold on.
shield.
Yes.
Phone actually went to sleep for a second.
Oh.
All right.
Um,
So also it's a new Gundam shield that he modified.
oh, yeah, looks it. Looks like he took a lot of Hainu parts and just kind of slapped them on the scramble to make it more exciting.
Yeah, that's what it seems, to make it easier to play with.
It
Because
wasn't
our
fun to
scramble
build.
is cheating. our scramble was cheating because it has rampage. The original scramble was not supposed to be spamming rampage. It was a very simple and
It
basic
was supposed
suit.
to be a toy. It wasn't trying to consume everyone on the island.
Exactly.
It was literally going to kill people.
No, it's a neat looking shield. Big, wide, bulky, while still keeping the aesthetic of new. I like it.
Yeah.
I guess.
So this shield is probably the most powerful shot defense we've seen in a shield.
What? No, I've seen higher.
I think we have monstrous. No, we have higher. The full armor 7th.
I'm already
shield.
there. I'm typing it in
standard.
right now.
Full armor 7th, really?
Full
Yeah,
armor 7's
the
got
shield on full armor
6,800, buddy.
No, I'm sorry. I'm counting alters here. So
Oh,
yeah, when it's
full armor
altered,
7th.
it's like it's higher than HWS shield when it's altered, and that had like 6,000 plus shot depth.
It's the same as unaltered full armor 7th. Get wrecked, Majin.
seventh is too strong.
7th was already better than HWS. 807.
6,800. Oh wow. Okay. I see that.
I had to
mean,
fight very
although
hard
the shot
when I was
attack-
rating that.
Yeah, the shot attack is something.
You're
Yes,
comparing
that's true.
a recent altered battle festival to this nonsense.
But let's be honest, it's even though the full armor 7th is a weaker option if we go absolute values, but for the easier availability and easier to get, you can get that 10% difference. You know, like you can get the 7th shield at 99 way easier than you can get that scrambled shield at 99.
Maybe I
Due
will.
to that difference, you can get more shot defense on scramble.
Let's actually
On
see
7th, I'm sorry.
if
Yeah,
Blessed
thanks for reminding me
Dengeki
about 7th. I forgot about that.
can tell us what
Yeah,
the
the shield
90
is really good.
values on Hot Scramble are. Dengeki is a great resource for hard numbers, though it is a little bit hard to navigate in some cases. Let's see here. So the current pickup is Corsair winning Hot Scramble. Let's head to Hot Scramble Shield. Don't know if it's going to have alteration stats, but we'll find out. So 90 with marks. Hot Scramble base shield
Yes.
gets up to 50-44. So it's like a good 600 difference from the marks. So yeah, full armor 7th can still beat it.
Yeah, due to availability and ease to max.
I'm gonna ignore that 3,000 shot attack because it's just bullying. Well, 2,000 in this
Yeah,
case.
no, you have to ignore the shot attack. There's a limit to how far we can go with standard parts. Though we did prove that you can get an 80k shot and melee build with standard parts, it's still not the same as the Sokai one.
That was before we even got X Divider though, which also has Federation like narrative V packs. So that will change quite a bit. Actually, interesting fact about X Divider, I ran some numbers on each part. The base stat totals are only a couple hundred off from Big Gundam, from Grandpa. It's just
Damn.
min-maxed incredibly heavily towards shooting, at the expense of everything else.
And that's a good thing.
Shooting and armor. It's
So
throwing
you can
resists
get
and melee defense out the window.
You can get that X divider and put it together with the current welfare, and you'll have a solid suit.
I will say that I understand that being min-max isn't that big of a problem as a subpart. It does make X Divider a very, very, very good subpart for stats. But I just don't like not having defenses.
I get that. It depends on what you're doing, but sacrifices.
Yep. Are we ready to talk about the elephant in the room? The big pink one?
Yes. The big elephant.
That we ended up with a
what are we calling it again?
Bustus.
I just call we can just call it PJ.
Because it's a big justice.
Okay. Yeah, sure, why not?
It is a Sokai tier part at 1 to 100.
Our first 1/100 part, and this one brings one thing we have been not talking as much, which is the tag compatibility as subs. In 1/100 subs, it matters a lot more.
And we have a little more of a unique spread in this guy.
Yeah. So having harder to fit combos, it's going to damage the usability of it.
Let's just go straight to alteration. Who cares what the base form looks like?
At this stage, the alteration is what sells.
Everything. Basically, alter all of the justice.
It's so good
it's hard not to. It's the first one.
I didn't even write anything for alteration in the review page when you see it. I have skipped.
But I'll be honest with you guys. I'm afraid.
It's just, if you can, yes, the 20% is too good.
Yes. I was just going to say that be careful chasing this suit too far, because the first suit of a new power creep is always gets smashed out really fast.
And the base version, there's some aspects about it that aren't really that great.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for example, we look at this head, and it has a shot tag and a melee tag. It's not even optimized.
I would love to look at this head.
Okay.
It has some absolutely amazing melee stats in distribution. But you also get coupled down with some pretty low armor, some pretty low shot defense, some pretty low beam resist. It's not a perfect stat line. It's got a good melee tag and high mobility, but Gundam type doesn't actually do anything to support this suit as a whole. The stats Gundam type even touch are the ones that are specifically shitty. And
if I may,
cool. More.
If you look, Justice has like this massive phys res, and that might be like another reason to use that resistance change gear over melee defense.
Strike Freedom and Infinite Justice always had that kind of niche, that their resists are so high that you actually get more of a benefit than you shot conversion.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just not. It's not a terribly
with conversion gears. And with conversion gears going up a tier, it might even help this more, using the resistance gear more.
But just as base, besides looking amazing, because look at all those details they put like in the head curves and everything compared to the HG version. This looks so good. It's really good. Not that great of a base part. ICD on the head is a neato gimmick. But it starts at 6%, so you're either going to have to put it in the oven for half a year or somehow pull 4 or 5 of them.
Is it literally half a year?
Nah, it's not half a year, but well, if you want me to math it out, I'll do some. I'll use some math to scare you. Let me just pull my calculator.
Well, let's say this: the pay oven.
If you say 50 experience per day, and it needs at least for it to be level 6,
6.
let's
Yeah,
say
we need
it needs
6.
like 5. So if you get like I don't know, like 5,500 more or less due to how rounding works at 50 per day, that's 110 days. It's not half a year, but it's 1/3 of a year. At least 4 months waiting for this
Well,
to
think of it this
be
way.
at least level 6.
The paid oven with
Unless
200
you go
XP a
all
day
in.
gets 1 month for level 6, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so that means
more or less.
the
1 month,
unpaid
yeah,
oven
a full month.
at a fourth of it means 4 months.
Yeah. What a
You know, the
third.
funny thing is, in 4 months, we might have a better suit than this.
Yep.
Yes.
Probably,
Yeah, right
probably
there.
a few more 1/100 Sokai.
It's regular scaling for that trait style. So it goes 10, 11, 12. You need 6 for it to be really standalone functional.
Exactly.
You need to hit that 12% benchmark.
So yeah, you need level 6, and you need at least maybe 1 month and 5 days or so in the paid oven. So you need to at least pay it twice.
If I were to assign an arbitrary rating just pulled out of my butt for this part, based on some kind of pre-existing scale, maybe I'd call it a glowing 3-say.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, let's
If
head
you
back
go
to the
by
altar,
itself,
though.
yes. The only, for me, the saving grace of this part, if you had to use it in a P-type cooldown build, it's perfect because you're going to be P-type anyway. Having both triggers, both of the head boosts happening with the same trigger is also a solid thing. But yeah, that's, as I said, the only possible saving grace for me.
I actually love having the ICD on the head. Just
It's a neat
the
slot.
whole problem is it's not very easy to level it up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not
that's
as
really the only problem here.
It's not as patrician and Chad as having it on the back, but I guess we can't all be candy corn.
Yeah, not a common part. Not a common part.
I'm so surprised that we have not seen another back ICD trait since then.
One of these days we're going to get a welfare one, and you're going to hate yourself for investing in that.
I don't like this torso EX. I am ready to be shit on for this. It is a basic Hisatsu with extra steps. Okay, so cool. You get a cool missile barrage at the start. That's neato, sure.
Yes.
And then you float very slowly and menacingly towards your target, where you confirm a cutscene that happens like any other cutscene. From the moment you trigger this, up until your slow float actually connects with that cutscene trigger, you do not have any iframes, and you are fully vulnerable to A, damage, and B, getting knocked out of it.
Yes.
You don't have iframes? Wow.
You don't have iframes. Someone
It's
can
like
throw
a
a wire
regular-
claw at you and just knock
It's like
you out.
a regular cutscene. It's a regular
Okay.
cutscene.
Yeah, so during the
it's
missile
like
barrage-
if you interrupt Bicep,
Yeah, during the missile barrage, you're completely vulnerable. I'm not even called a dash, I'm going to call it a slow float. During the slow float, you're completely vulnerable, like any other cutscene dash. Once it starts, once you catch them and you trigger the beam sword wooshy wooshy, that is iframes like any other bisect thing. But
yeah.
it's cool.
Well,
but I don't like it.
It's cool. It's good for buffing the party, and it's also cool for killing a bunch of enemies at once. But yeah, it's a regular cutscene. It's a regular cutscene that might work better versus something like big bosses than the rest.
Those missiles don't even necessarily split, so you're just relying on their natural splash damage to get multiple people.
Oh.
Damn.
I mean, I guess the buff is nice, but...
Okay, I am aware it's a shot cutscene, so it's not a 1-1 analog. But man, how embarrassing is it that you're worse than Bisect?
Damn.
Just for sheer
Damn.
effectiveness,
That-
this is worse than Bisect. Bisect's got the heal. Bisect's got a similar power for squad buff. Bisect's got a similar power to begin with. It goes in quick. It does its job in one hit.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest. This is one of those X skills that you use for rule of the cool. Let's
pretty
not
cool.
say it's optimal because it isn't. We can't
Actually,
fool
hell,
anyone with that.
the back is better. The back is a better
The
cutscene.
meteor is cool though.
Mm.
Is
It's
it
a
the back
copy
like the
paste.
same?
Yes,
cutscene?
Yes,
Yeah.
the back and the arms are exactly the same, which for me is kind of sad.
but the back is a 40%
At least
armor
it's
for
not
the squad and a
unicorn.
20% melee boost. I would rather have that on the same
Yeah.
cooldown with the same power. Actually, 40% is pretty
And it-
beefy, man. Oh, and it goes up by
Yes.
2 every time. Oh, goddamn. Hey, that's a good attack.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah.
Okay, well, eat it, Torso. You're talking about tag spread on this. And we can actually do this over here on the calculator to make life easier. That's not a calculator. We can do it on the calculator to make life easier if I just bring up Big Justice on here so we can see the tags all at once. Bustus, 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 Bustus. Oh, he doesn't have a melee weapon. Does that make people sad?
PJ. It does.
And it doesn't have a gun
I
either.
think they left out the melee weapon just to balance things out. Otherwise,
Now we wait for freedom to bring Justice's weapon.
So, it is Sokai stats with a 20%
As it did
inheritance.
before.
But we are also looking at high mobility Gundam and high mobility high firepower as sub potential. I think the latter has a lot more potential than the former. In fact, what
firepower is for common. I mean,
what do we have
High
going
firepower
on
works
for big
for
high
both,
firepower?
you know?
Hold on, we're
High
gonna address
firepower
that right
has-
now.
Okay. High firepower, if we go through min-maxing, is probably one of the best tags to use with the new 4040 parts, because we got a Helios head, we got Shia arms, so high firepower has been a common thing, which is good.
High
Very good.
firepower for
Hmm.
existing permanent altars for 1 to 100 have a pretty good selection. I mean, it's not perfect, but you have lots of arms. You have every slot covered for high firepower, pretty much. You have arms, legs, bodies,
Yeah.
heads. Actually, you don't have any
Also,
bodies. Oh, there's
if
no
you-
bodies.
If you want to talk, and if you want to talk about high firepower and legs, you have Master Altar to use if memory
Right.
doesn't fail me.
I
So
was looking
since it's
at
since
big inheritance.
since Justice is 1/100, you're going to need a regular one.
Yeah.
As a sub, not a 1/100.
Well, you can. Yeah, you're gonna need one. Yeah.
Eh,
How
you
about
need
the
the scale
coverage for
difference. If it's same
existing
scale, it doesn't
Gundam?
transfer.
Gundam
Yeah.
type doesn't actually have a surprisingly large pool of support for existing 1/100.
It does not.
Damn,
it's
I
still
mean,
really
I've been
weird to
using
me
the legs.
that Grandpa doesn't have a Gundam type.
They probably tried to twist it around since regular Grandpa had it in some parts.
Woo!
I guess.
So they gave us Fatty and mid range,
Okay,
which made MC very happy.
we have a lot of existing high mobility options here for 1/100.
We do.
Some of which,
High
like
mobility
Grand
is
Slam, are actually fan goddamn
good.
tastic.
Yes. Grand Slam can be used with a bunch of weapons as a sub. I think I have one list, an old list that I made that has Grand Slam works perfectly with the GN2 blaster, the one with Transam Riser.
Yep.
So you can have 45% transfer.
I have some problems now with Justice looking at this list. it doesn't really fill any niches with its tag spread. All of these high mobilities we're looking at on the screen right now, all carry, 99% of them at least, there's a few duds in there, all carry much better secondary tags. We're looking at pro tag. We're looking at close combat.
Now consider the following. Are they probably afraid to go too far in the first 100? They're probably reserving the tags and the good stuff for the next ones to be able to sell them, if we go from a business perspective.
A lot of me makes
They cannot give us...
makes me feel like you're overthinking it and they didn't put that much thought into it, but it's possible.
Yeah, like, consider the following. What if they gave us 100 Zai with the same tags? That would break
a big Z.
the game, right?
How big is a big Z? Z's are gigantic.
It would be it would be Big Zam size. You could slap Big Zam with that.
Goddamn kaiju.
With those huge hands, you would slap Zam.
Man, why are these arms so good?
That's the thing. Oh yeah, those are tremendous. I've been using that almost since they came out.
Hold on.
I think
are these? Hold on. I'm gonna.
Yes, they are a straight up inferior version to that site.
Oh, okay, wait. So Death Sight's better.
Yes, that side is better
for like
melee suit.
Arm have high mobility?
No.
Okay.
No. That side is close combat.
Okay, hold on a second.
Close combat and for something.
84.
But yeah.
Only for
91.
Or for urban.
And 2853 melee defense. How far
the only thing
off?
that Justice would have over that is stats, I think.
I'm
that
checking
side
those
is just
right
unfair.
Now.
That side is unfair. It goes over 9k on melee and nearly 4k on melee defense. It's not a good comparison for a melee suit. It also gives a higher boost.
If you are matching high mobility in close combat for Ailstrike, you are doing better than Justice because of that Gundam type tag.
True. No, you're right.
Yeah.
That's sad.
It's a better, It's,
It doesn't have as much melee defense as you'd think.
Yeah, looking at that melee defense, you can open that side. That side is like 9...
What the hell is this? It's so strong.
Go look at that side.
I am.
That side is unfair. It's unfair. It's freaking unfair.
I'm not going to compare close combat and high mobility. You know, I was looking at high mobility to high mobility. But this is silly.
Yeah. No, these arms are the gold standard of subparts.
So, yeah, Justice, tough break. You don't have a good tag spread for Inheritance, though your stats are fantastic. And you got a lot of problems working through your trace and your EXs.
Exactly. That's why I say that Justice is a Sokai, and it's a 1/100, which brings a lot of value. But considering that we opened that box, we're going to get more from here on. So just pulling for those big stats and those 1/100 value will probably make you feel bad when something else comes better next month.
Justice is kind of like a stepping stone, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Gauge the reaction.
Well,
I would use that shield though.
We've managed to make it through almost all of this. I know we still have Star Winning on the agenda technically, but we have been talking for like 2 hours, and I'm getting a little bit of a grumbly in my tumbly. We can always save this for a future week since we still have a few more weeks to get through this.
Yeah, the Star Winning, Maybe we can jump Star Winning and just look at the 3.1 just to finish it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to take a look at 3.1 patch notes?
Yes, we can do that really fast. It's the list is very clean.
So, maintenance is coming. As of next Tuesday, we're going to have a little bit of a downtime. And the added information they are giving us, besides the addition of the leagues that we've already talked about, besides the
we talked about a bunch of them.
additions, The new stuff they're giving us for interesting features is more custom abilities. First off, we're getting a whole new 4-pack of new passives that can be activated with your limit burst. One of which right off the bat's kind of useless. Who cares about Vernier consumption? But debuff, which made me happy up until the point where I saw buff and got sad again, because it's just better in every goddamn way. But that'll be
I do
kind
have
of
questions
always
about
wins.
that. Now, I have questions about that buff effect, though. Since if you want to make the most out of it, you want to trigger your limit break first before doing
likely.
your buffs, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so that would mix up the kind of arena cycle that we're doing in terms of meta plays.
It's not going to shake it up as much because people will still need to wait for that limit burst to fill and activate.
Yeah.
And 30% isn't going to offset the time loss.
So probably something like an EX spam to stop time, wait for the burst to happen, and then basically just a single buff.
But then you have to alternate between 2Xs to effectively stop the time.
Yeah,
Are we getting Vulcans back?
It's
Are
gonna
we going back to physical Vulcans?
Maybe
to
we
build
are.
up
Maybe
your limit
we
burst
are.
gauge and get you that extra second of time stop?
Not sure. But probably if you have like a machine gun mag, it would fill up your burst faster.
Yeah,
I'm concerned about wasting an EX slot on that. That's one less buff that you can throw down.
It is something that it's not easy to actually take advantage of. But one thing is 100% certain. This will make one-shotting the current big bosses way easier.
Absolutely.
Like ridiculous. You can just activate your limit. You can activate your limit break, and you can get like extra 90% in 3x skills.
I don't know
it's
what
like,
they're going to do
unfair.
about bosses. They can't keep scaling up the
difficulty or inferno difficulty.
That's not an answer,
bosses.
Though. We do.
Just bloating the numbers is not an answer.
Niche restrictions.
Niche bosses, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, those would be restricted and interesting. Also, just before we finish the roundup for 3.1, there's one thing I would like to go to, is that we are going to get 2 new things that matter a lot. One is custom missions will have a lot of restriction adjustments, and all melee will get boosted, except throwing attacks and funnel type. Those 2 will change the game.
Maybe more people would actually play more melee in arena.
Joe, I don't like that though. I don't like how melee is going to be the de facto arena choice because you're just doing more damage off the bat.
No, you're going to bisect people.
I don't know.
Join us in the Katana Overlords.
I was never under the impression that melee was behind shot in damage. I never thought that there was a discrepancy there.
Well, I'll be honest with you. The SP shots for all weapons are way better than the strong melee attacks. Way better in terms of damage.
As one aspect,
leagues above.
Maybe.
And they can all be boosted by a bunch of things, like magazine size, magazine reload. So it's...
But we're getting the EX skills boosted
as well. It's better. It's clearly better. Yeah, that I don't understand, to be honest. Because I do think that stuff like Mobile Fighter and Protag are already boosting enough melee power. We don't need... because we are going to reach new ceilings next week. Like, I'm expecting 150k. That's gonna be crazy, but yeah. And
can you imagine melee BC now with these melee upgrades?
Well, this might be a good time to wrap it up. My battery's dying.
Okay.
I woke up with a fresh 100%. Y'all have burned through 80% of my battery.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's impressive.
Yeah, big changes coming, and we can talk about them definitely more when they hit next week.
Exactly.
This seems like a pretty good natural place to... I just want to check my battery quick. Yeah, it's going down. this seems like a good natural place to call it in. Thank you both for joining me on this week's Redive. We definitely got a lot of interesting new developments coming up, and
Right.
you made me think about
Thanks
things
for
I didn't
having
think
me.
about before. Of course, Damian. This has been GNL Redive. If you want some more information, if you want to go somewhere neat to talk with other people about this game, if you want a place for tips, tricks, stats, and strats, go visit our Discord at www.discord.com/GG/GBM, where we just spend all day, every day, musing about Gonna Breaker Mobile. I've been the other MC, Melga has been excellent, and Damian has been a treat. The rest of you all, be great and enjoy your weekend.
See you later, everyone.
See ya.